Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be checking out the brand new McKinley Dixon album, Magic Alive. And before we get into the record today, I just want to say if you want to check out the unedited video of this for $5 a month, you get this video unedited and every other video I have done this year for just $5 on the Patreon in the description. This is the brand spanking new McKinley Dixon album, one I have been highly anticipating for some time now, considering his 2023 album Beloved Paradise Jazz is one of my favorite records of 2023 and an incredible conscious jazz rap album that I still revisit time and time again. And he is an incredible musician who I feel like is truly underrated at only 106,000 monthly listeners, deserves a lot more recognition. And of course today, I'd like to give him that recognition with this new LP. With 11 tracks and 35 minutes, like his last album, it will fly by, I'm imagining, with some incredible production. So let's not waste any more time here. There are some, decent, I would say, features on here. Blue appears on here as well as Quell Chris. So it was pronounced Quelle Chris. I'm not too sure. I'm not too familiar with him, to be honest with you. But I should give him a chance, I guess. Without further ado, though, let's get into the first track here. Watch My Hands. Also excited that we got a Run, Run, Run Part 2 on here. Run, Run, Run Part 1 would, of course, be off of the last album I mentioned, Beloved Paradise Jazz. An incredible track. So I can't wait to see what that one offers as a sequel. Without further ado here, let's get into the first track, Watch My Hands. That classic cassette open. Kind of reminiscent of Good Kid, Mad City.
Was hot, babies and beaters, sweat beating under my t-shirt. Sun hit it right, gleam on this chain, view from it.
Love these strings, backing them up.
Sitting and listening, figuring what all the trees heard. We not the only ones, niggas is really alive. Live from the kitchen table that we moved to the backyard.
Some throwbacks there to the last LP too.
Touching my chest, touching my chin, hands on my cheeks as a blunt come running like tight in his hands. We gather our nasties, magic alive.
Love that very kind of rolling off the tongue kind of delivery.
Yeah.
Setting the stage with that title drop there. A quick one with some nice strings. As expected, very theatrical in a sense. Here's Sugar Water. Like I said, very theatrical. That choir coming in the background. Love that sax too. Not sure who this features here, Anne Jamile, but a nice, soulful, soaring chorus. Certainly complements his anthemic sort of style. Here's Quelle Chris. Love the kind of ease that Quelle Chris sort of rhymes on the production there. Honestly, matching McKinley perfectly. But just slides in and out. Love the rising pleading sort of delivery. Again, these tracks quick, flying by. What a great track that one was as well. McKinley Dixon, his signature sort of rising sort of tension that he brings to the table, really closes that track out perfectly. Here's Crooked Stick.
Boogie woogie weed to the beat of the clock's tick tock. They just wanna like Rick Ross.
This one's kind of
like crisscross. The heist of Diddy bitches dance along to our pish posh bitch watch.
a bit more of a free jazz kind of style to it, like a wonkiness, more chaos to it. Love that. That sax. Love his change in tone there. That almost pleading, like I said.
Dummy. Boogie woogie weed it up. You hit it once, get gone like a ride. My legacy forever, yet they trying to sabotage. Still a pious man, I won't.
This drumming too, so crisp and cutting through the production.
I resurrect the mocked and wristwatch and PC white noise blare block. Bitch stop tripping over the time of that wristwatch.
If I were to point out maybe the only negative so far, a bit of a repetitive track at only 2.5 minutes. Does repeat that main chorus quite a bit, but I like the kind of almost free jazz like sort of instrumentation. Very wonky, very strange, very chaotic. Kind of reminds me of something that Koreatown Oddly would rap on. But here is the next track here. Recitative? That feels wrong. But this one's 4 minutes, so we are getting a little lengthier as we're getting deeper into the track list. Love the heavy modulation here. Again, kind of reminded me of Kendrick in a way.
From the wind need to answer yet, but can I have your stories when you gone? I'm fiending.
Oh,
Make my way to forever, I'm scheming.
love that
When these niggas don't get
drum there, quite
demons, just hell bent
in
on
focus.
being so heaven sent, burning through whatever next just to find out what forever meant. Teaming up with the thought that
Love the way the production, like I said, stripping back in these moments to really highlight the
I
drumming.
don't need you, I'm leaving. Out of the wet round the point. Yeah.
Ooh, that flute there, quite cyclical. We have a bit of a beat switch here completely. Okay. Like funky synth.
Okay. Shit. I hit you right when I land in another country that's never gonna be seen by my mans. Rising sun, when I wake up, you put the money in hand. We stick you.
Dixon just coming in hard here, completely beat switching it up to a funky, hard-hitting, chunky sort of beat too. Kind of clipping out. This kind of reminds me of something clipping would do. Kind of futuristic in tone. Love that.
It's not a diss if he not gonna mention me. I the homies, he gonna get you. Run.
This track's amazing. Taylor Banks coming in here. Matching the chaos. A lot of references, perhaps little shots at Kendrick and Eminem back to back, but it could just be seen as a friendly riffing. Loving the flow that Teller's bringing here. That track was incredible. That beat switch completely caught me off guard there. Hard hitting, brutal, chunky as well. Quite a clipping beat switch that was. And I loved the flow that McKinley brought there, especially in that back half of his verse 3 there. Just the stomp, 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 pop, 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 dot, dot, dot. kind of triple rhyme scheme there. Incredible. Here's Run 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 Part 2, the sequel to a track that is essentially perfect. So let's see, does it continue in its footsteps? Pretty high bar, I would say, to be following. Love the drum line, of course. Certainly in line with his style. A very kind of epic, growing appeal.
Trying to yell out a spell to the heavens it'll reach, but for now we keep running. If one day we'll be free, keep it running.
Oh, love that drop. Certainly has that growing appeal. I'm not sure if it's matching the original, I would say, energy of Run 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 Part 1, especially with just how kind of epic it is with those backup vocals. Here, I'm expecting those same level of vocals. Oh, I do like the piano work here in the background, though. Gentle and buried in the mix. McKinley. I watch him from the rooftop and he see the house lean, but at least house grass really got a certain grain. Perhaps talking about like a nurture type situation, like a growing and instilling some further wisdom, maybe perhaps on a younger generation or on those being born. I'm not sure lyrically, of course, there isn't much to go off of right here, considering I don't have any lyric sheet. This is a brand new release after all, and a very small release. But even still, it seems to be suggesting some sort of wisdom being imparted onto the younger generation or a new generation here being born. Here's We're Outside, Rejoice, Run 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 Part 2. I will say, hard to compare it to the original considering how just great that track is and how long it's been around now, a couple of years. I've been listening to that one. But even still, it does seem to kind of manage to match, I would say, the tempo, at least, of the original. It feels very in line with the flow and delivery. But yeah, We're Outside, Rejoice. Let's keep it going. Yeah. Love how kicked back this one sounds. Nice little, is that an organ? Perhaps a Hammond organ? I love his take of jazz rap. It's kind of more alive, more fluid. Yeah. Keep going. That bass line, quite funky. The instrumentation feels so kind of like raw and live. I would imagine this is all done in studio with just how crisp it is. Oh, mentioning that child again. Oh, love the sense of community and camaraderie that's being brought on here. Connect to me through the heartbeat. You can hear the car yelling, ringing down the whole street. How me and all my niggas celebrate, all our feet go. Very kind of intimate storytelling in his rap. Simple hook, simple chorus, but effective with its chant. Down the whole street, how me and all my niggas celebrate, all our feet go. Rejoice, rejoice. Definitely carries on that theme, like I said, of camaraderie. Kind of everyone on their own sort of journey, but together. Very unified feel to it. Very community-based. Beautiful track. Love that chorus, too. Very simple. A simple mantra, but has a good chant-like ability to it. Here's All the Loved Ones. What would we do? Again, speaking of loved ones. Very, I would say, community-based, wholesome approach. Perhaps.
Don't stop playing with me, my mama said. She gon' whoop your ass, your ass. Yeah.
Love that drum coming around and sinking in.
I killed that boy, but he tried to kill my dreams. Okay. I don't get it, but some things better left unknown. OG asked what she did for the punishment of me not coming home. Well, I ain't been the same since they shot baby boy up in his dome. And grandma, you ain't been the same since his father followed him home.
Perhaps a tale of trying to escape the, I would imagine here, the gang lifestyle in the attempt to achieve one's dreams. Obviously a tale as old as time, but still pretty timeless in terms of hip-hop. Always kind of sticks to the landing. And McKinley, quite a kind of inspiring sort of sound with it, you know?
On my face, the memories that it brings. Tonight it's in my ears. You can't imagine the sound it rings. Must be the same as
maybe that magic being the dreams, the passion.
Don't stop playing with me. My mama said she gon' whoop your ass, your ass.
That bass. Love that bass guitar in the back there. It's got a real massive sort of sound to it, especially with that sort of echoing choir.
No strong mind, weak, but a hard head, get that ass beat. Pop say a lot while they
Pink
drink,
Seafood.
In the end, I think about him in my sleep, but I'm nodding off deep light, trying to get these songs crashing out. Shot brothers glassy. What you know about what I would have done?
Love the funkiness of the instrumental.
It's real life, what they talk about. Stuff you got me down in my head, that's so homegrown, I swear.
Beautiful track. I think just a touching tribute perhaps to the loved ones who are maybe perhaps supporting these artists in their vision to try to get out of tough times. Not too sure. That's just what I'm gathering here, without, of course, the direct lyrics to follow. But I think both rappers here, the features, Ice Cold Bishop as well as Pink Sifu, kind of bring the same sort of flow, energy, and kind of anthemic delivery that one can expect from McKinley. Let's go to FFOL with Teller Banks back here, who I thought was fantastic on track 4. One of the best features so far on the album, so I can't wait to see how it goes here. This is a hard-hitting track. Jeez. Oh, I love that. That McKinley there with that lyric, the from his head to his arms to his hands to his fingers when he writes. Is that what he said? Love that. Fingers ignite. What an incredible delivery of those bars. I love the, can you show me a legend? Why would you show me someone who's dead? Love that slight sense of humor. Incredible. Incredible chorus. Love this energy. Ominous. That guitar on our left side here. The guitar throughout this track is so electrifying. Teller Banks quite literally running out of breath with the way he was just rattling off those bars there. Incredible delivery. Loved the energy. Also really loved the kind of rock flair we got throughout that track. It's like a nice blend of the kind of jazz rap we've come to expect, the anthemic sort of sound, with a hard-hitting, kind of edgy rock sort of edge to it, especially with that guitar throughout. Here's Listen Gentle. A lot of, I would say, McKinley Dixon feels like he is kind of pushing his sound into various directions throughout this LP, really spreading it out and just further developing it, really.
Pull a quarter from behind your ear. If I show you how to do it and you get the magic right, you can use these tricks to help your ass take flight. Wow, I guess I never knew how, but it really comes alive when you say it out loud.
Love the kind of use of childhood throughout this LP as well. Seems to be a pretty important theme. Kind of McKinley's growing out of perhaps a kind of repeating cycle, trying to escape it. Oh, that chain in his shirt, never gonna catch me. Another throwback to beloved Paradise Jazz.
The president's with the promise that he's gonna be saved. The rest is so damn contrived. I kill myself to bring you back. How's that magic alive?
That title drop. Multiple times throughout the record so far. Love this horn, this choir, really kind of ramping things up to an epic proportion. Oh, love that. Dial it back.
If I show you how to do it and you get the magic right, you can use these tricks to help your ass take flight. Wow, I guess I never knew how, but it really comes alive when you say it out aloud. Take these pennies from my thoughts, turn it to 100,000, but I can't control the fire. Everybody get, yeah.
Love that. Take these pennies from my thoughts, turn it into 100,000. Again, another great kind of lyric alluding to his rap career taking off from just his thoughts and just raw talent. Incredible. Again, using the rap career, his musicianship, as a magic in his mind. Here's track 10, Magic Alive, the title track. What a shimmery open. Oh. Quite funky here. Very live. Love this backup choir. What a incredible verse. Love the energy on this one. This one feels so vivid, so passionate, so just purely just like fun, just pure sort of ecstatic energy kind of infused into it. And his verses, his flow. And the horns. Love the kind of flute work in the background there. Very shimmery, those flutes. Love that track in general. It feels like almost felt like a finale in a way, with just how massive and ecstatic the energy was throughout that thing. And also it being the title track and kind of having the whole message kind of wrapped up did feel like a closer in a way, but we do have one last track here. Could have been different with Blue, obviously incredibly popular underground musician, still underground after all these years, and Shamir, who I am not too familiar with. But let's go into the final track. I feel like Blue, very fitting with Dixon's style. Oh, this one's nice and smooth. This one's such a kind of laid back groove.
Fear of God, fear of fearful game, head out the window. Pray these winds can hold up both of our frames. Pacing back and forth, I can't find the words what to speak. I look up to the poster on my wall and I ask, what you think?
Oh, Blue is the poster.
You see, I think bright, though the mind is dark. Open my optics to optimism. That's what I was taught. To live like I'm blind, yet always guided by God. And I do this for anyone who looks anything like my mom. You asking me what I think. I'm just a poster on your wall. And I think you know the answer is right in your catalog. McKinley, you showed me the importance of self-belief. Be love, be jazz, you don't gotta be me.
Be loved, be jazzed. Blue. Be loved, be jazzed. Referencing Beloved, Paradise, Jazz, his incredible last LP. Love that little. I wonder if that was a Blue bar entirely on his own. But what a incredible, cool reference and tribute to Dixon here to close out the LP. Here, portraying a poster in Dixon's room. And kind of telling Dixon the message comes within. That guidance. What a incredible closing track. Loved how kind of laid back it was and how it kind of looped things right back around to Dixon's own catalog, saying to look within his music for guidance, perhaps. And Blue portraying a poster. What a interesting, I guess, persona, point of view. Loved it. Blue's raspy voice too was nice to hear. I feel like he's been around now since the 2000s. Aging, but still relevant and still quite sharp with the pen, clearly. What a LP this was. 11 tracks, 35 minutes long. Incredibly dense production, beautiful, gorgeous, jazzy production that is at times very soulful and sweet and beautiful, but other times very punchy and hard-hitting, and even kind of leaning into a little bit of a rock territory on track 8 FFOL, I believe it was, which was just very heavy on the guitar focus especially. I really liked that direction. Can't wait to see him explore more of that in the future perhaps. But even still, just on this record alone, I feel like he really took a lot of the sound from his last LP, Beloved, Paradise, Jazz, and stretched it out into very different directions than one would expect. Kind of leaned more into the jazz sound and got a little bit more, I would say, kind of free jazz, more chaotic, more aggressive in the jazz sound. Whereas other times, he, like I said, kind of brought it back to what we know, the very anthemic, sweet, soulful sort of jazz, especially with those backing choirs. Still there, still relevant to the mix. A great LP, one that I think will certainly, perhaps make many end of the year lists, especially in the rap sort of category. Might be many people's underrated rap album of the year. But another thing, I really liked the kind of narrative focus perhaps on his childhood, of growing up, of kind of discovery, self-discovery, of imparting wisdom onto a younger generation. is what I'm gathering lyrically here. Loved it. Thought it was fantastic. Loved the flute as well that we got throughout here. Always a big fan of some flute work, and it is pretty buried in the mix, but it's certainly there. It's certainly quite shimmery and adds a nice whimsical sort of nature to an already pretty anthemic and empowering LP. A great one. And those strings, too, also really added to the almost like orchestral element of the record. Magic Alive, a magical sort of record, for sure. And just quite powerful, as always, as one can expect from Dixon. But that does it for today's video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along in listening to more records alongside myself. If you are interested in the Patreon for $5 a month, you get all my videos unedited, including this one and every other album I have done this year and every other album I plan to do going forward for $5 a month, unedited. But, as always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.